You're listening to Equality Radio.
Equality Radio.
Fabulous.
Now, here's your host, Randall White.
Randall White on Q Talk America.
Taking your calls at 424-272-6365. That's the number to call to pipe yourself directly into the show. We want to hear from you here on Equality Radio. Don't be shy. 4242 Randall. Might be easier to remember. 4242 Randall with an O-L, not Randall. We'd love to hear from you on this Monday edition of Equality Radio. 6 minutes past the hour. On this 24th day of June 2013, it is the first Monday of summer here in North America. And we broadcast live from San Luis Obispo. It's a town halfway between San Francisco and Los Angeles on the coast. We have a lot of sunshine here. Not today on the first Monday of summer. It is overcast, gloomy. There was even a sprinkle. I commute by bicycle, and I even got sprinkled on a bit as I came in today. I'll tell you, this morning when I got up, it was another day of like a knotted stomach waiting to find out whether the Supreme Court of the United States was about to issue the rulings on Prop 8 and the so-called Defense of Marriage Act. But today was yet again not a day for that to happen. Now, there is a scheduled day tomorrow. And once again, 7 o'clock a.m. on the Pacific, in the Pacific time zone, Eastern, 10 o'clock is when the Supreme Court will issue several more rulings. You know, whether DOMA and Prop 8 will be among them, we don't know. But the number of rulings are getting smaller and smaller. And so at some point, it has to come down. And when it does, we will be here for you from noon until 4, a full 4-hour Equality Radio show, giving you legal analysis, everything you can imagine, sharing your stories, and how these rulings will affect you directly. We have confirmed several more guests. I got to tell you, there is a wonderful list of people that will be joining us. Kathy Young, she hosts the agenda here on Q Talk America, as well as Rebecca Winninger. She's the president of Equality Arizona, and they will be joining us at different times to talk a bit about the rulings. Just today, we confirmed, I have to find it here on my list. Let's see, there it is. Courtney Jocelyn, professor of law at the UC Davis School of Law, will give us the lowdown on Prop 8. Now, there are several possibilities for Prop 8. DOMA is a little more clear-cut, but for Proposition 8, the court could rule any number of ways. First off, they could affirm the Ninth Circuit Court decision that invalidated Prop 8's constitutionality. Now, that ruling would legalize same-sex marriage again in California and could potentially go beyond California and legalize same-sex marriage nationwide. That's the best scenario for those of us in the LGBT community, for sure. The court could also dismiss the case by ruling that the petition for review should never have been granted, and a lot of people think this might be what happens. This would leave the Ninth Circuit Court's decision that Prop 8 is unconstitutional as the final binding decision. For that ruling was very narrowly defined for just California, and so it probably wouldn't expand beyond the state. The court could also hold that the Prop 8 backers lack standing under the federal law to appeal. This would vacate the Ninth Circuit's decision, leaving U.S. District Court Judge Vaughn Walker's ruling that Prop 8 is unconstitutional and final, making same-sex marriage legal in California. However, this would leave open the possibility that Prop 8 supporters could challenge whether that ruling applies. It says here statewide. I'm wondering if that means statewide or nationwide. And then finally, the court could reverse the Ninth Circuit, upholding Prop 8 as valid, and this would mean that same-sex marriage would continue to be illegal here in California unless another state proposition overturns Prop 8. Polls in California show that is a possibility, but it's not an easy road, and let's hope for a better ruling than that. Maybe tomorrow. We don't know. We'll find out. All right, a little bit later on the show today, we've got... we're headed to Washington, D.C., as a matter of fact. The Gay and Lesbian Victory Fund works to elect LGBT leaders to public office in an effort to change America's politics, and they've done a pretty good job at it. DENIS DISON is the organization's VP of Communications, and he'll join us today from D.C. with the latest political topics. That should be interesting for sure. Then at the bottom of the hour, I'm curious to ask Dennis what the feeling is there in D.C. regarding the Supreme Court. Then at the bottom of the hour, it is our weekly Meatless Monday segment, and today we feature the founders of New York's Our Hen House. It's called. JASMIN singer and MARIANN Sullivan will be with us. They're joining us in a unique way today via Skype, which we haven't done yet on this show. We won't be taking their video feed, but it'll be interesting to hear how the quality is. Typically, we ask our guests not to do that, but they said they have a really good mic. So I'm hoping it's going to come in nice and clear, because that really opens up a whole wealth of ways that people can contact the show. So this organization, Our Hen House, produces media resources that anyone can use to help create positive change for animals. So I think that will be an interesting discussion as well. JASMIN singer and MARIANN Sullivan. Hey, do you have a smartphone or a tablet? In fact, you might even be listening to us right now on that smartphone or tablet, because it's really easy to do so. You can get Q Talk on the go. Just download. This is the way that I do it on my, I have a Samsung Galaxy 3. What you do is you just download the TuneIn app and then search Q Talk. It's the first thing to come up. Touch it, make it a favorite, and voila. You're done. You can listen to us as you commute, as you bike ride, however you'd like. You don't have to use the over-the-air waves radio stations anymore. You can really grab the content that you want to listen to, and we hope that's Equality Radio and Q Talk America. Lots of great shows on Q Talk, that's for sure. All right, your comments and opinions, of course, the stars of the show. So head on over to our Twitter or Facebook feeds, both. Actually, they're different, but just search Equality Radio, and we come up, if not at the top of the list, near the top of the list, and on both Twitter and Facebook. Or go to our contact page at equalityradio.net. Okay, it's a .net. Equalityradio.net. Go to the contact page and send us a little note. All right, when we return, we are headed to Washington, D.C. to get the very latest from the Victory Fund's DENIS DISON. Find out how the LGBT politicians are faring right now in our nation's capital.
Equality Radio.
Join the conversation. Give us a call. 424-272-6365.
Equality Radio.
And then at the bottom of the hour, we are headed to New York City to meet the founders of Our Hen House, JASMIN singer and MARIANN Sullivan. You're listening to Equality Radio here on Q Talk America. We're back in just a moment. Flex Cocktail Lounge and LGBT Bar is the place Las Vegas locals and tourists alike go to enjoy a welcoming environment with a small town feel. Meet up with friends and relax at Flex, open 24 hours a day. Flex is located on the west side of Las Vegas at West Charleston and Arville, just 4 miles from downtown and the Strip. Flex is known for its friendly bartenders, loose gaming, and inexpensive cocktails. Stop by whenever you're in Vegas and play a game of pool. Meet a friend, or even make a new one. To see the schedule of drag queen karaoke, dance club activities, and gaming options, log on to flexlasvegas.com. That's flexlasvegas.com. Flex Cocktail Lounge and LGBT Bar, the place to enjoy our Las Vegas. Can we have your attention for a moment? Eat, Drink, Explore Media has an important date we want to share with you. Saturday, July 13th. We invite you to join us at a craft beer and food event like no other. At last count, generous samples from more than 70 breweries will be paired with local culinary treats for the 2013 Breast Fest along San Francisco's waterfront at Fort Mason. Going on its 14th year, the annual Breast Fest has grown dramatically, raising money for an incredibly important cause, providing free, complimentary treatments for women battling breast cancer. The Charlotte Maxwell Clinic offers services such as acupuncture, massage, organic foods, and transportation. The clinic's core mission to provide relief from the terrible side effects of cancer and its treatments. Eat, Drink, Explore Media is very proud to be among the main sponsors for this year's event. For more information, go to thebreastfest.org. Are you as excited, maybe even nervous as we are about the upcoming decisions that will be handed down by the Supreme Court of the United States later this month? Hello, I'm Randall White, host of Equality Radio here on Q Talk America. In anticipation of what will surely be a historic day, the staff here at Equality Radio is hard at work, putting together expert guests, background information, and legal analysis for a solid day of live coverage. We are greatly expanding our show that day to fit the occasion. We want to be sure you have a forum to express your thoughts as history unfolds around us. There may be no greater moment in LGBT history than what's about to happen. And Equality Radio on Q Talk America will be here so we can all share it together. Tell your friends, family, and LGBT allies Q Talk America is the place to be when SCOTUS makes its decision known. Stay tuned. Flex Cocktail Lounge and LGBT Bar is the place Las Vegas locals and tourists alike go to enjoy a welcoming environment with a small town feel. Meet up with friends and relax at Flex. Open 24 hours a day. Flex is located on the west side of Las Vegas at West Charleston and Arville, just 4 miles from downtown and the Strip. Flex is known for its friendly bartenders, loose gaming, and inexpensive cocktails. Stop by whenever you're in Vegas and play a game of pool. Meet a friend, or even make a new one. To see the schedule of drag queen karaoke, dance club activities, and gaming options, log on to flexlasvegas.com. That's flexlasvegas.com. Flex Cocktail Lounge and LGBT Bar, the place to enjoy our Las Vegas.
You're listening to
Randall White on Q Talk America. Equality Radio.
Indeed, 3:19 now here on the West Coast, 6:19 Eastern. Great to have you with us, everyone, here for the Monday edition of Equality Radio. I am your host, Randall White, and we welcome to the program today somebody who is really on the inside track for Washington politics. A lot going on right now in the nation's capital as the LGBT community has collectively held its breath regarding some key rulings from the Supreme Court of the United States, of course. DENIS DISON is the VP of Communications for the Gay and Lesbian Victory Fund and is on the line with us right now. Hey, Dennis. Oh, you know what? I got to pop you up. There we go. Hey, Dennis.
Hey, Randall. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk just a little bit off the top here about the Supreme Court rulings. I imagine it's hard for you to go to any event where that's not the topic at hand right now.
Well, it's tea leaf reading right now, and every Monday and Thursday we all pop down in front of our computers and read SCOTUS blog.
Right, yeah. I was just on it moments ago.
It's an insanely good way to look at to try to find out this news. The people that run it are just fantastic, and I think today they had 85,000 people watching their live blog of the opinions being read. So
wow.
I think the good part of this is we're all learning a lot more about the Supreme Court and how it works as we wait and wait and wait.
It seems I don't know, super dramatic the way they do it, where they don't let you know which day the different arguments are the different decisions are going to come down. And then they keep everyone, sort of holding their breath. And I don't know. It seems a little bit like they're full of themselves. I mean,
it is pretty dramatic, a little ancient, but the good news is a lot of experts are saying that we wouldn't hear the marriage decisions until possibly even the last day, and the last date that they have scheduled is the 27th. So that's this Thursday. Now they could go further. They could extend into July. Those sessions where they read orders and opinions from the bench, but most people believe that by this Thursday we'll have a ruling, and it looks like they're gonna do it tomorrow as well. But I think they have 6 more opinions to issue.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they were saying. The pundits were saying back at the end of March is that it would probably be this coming Thursday. So
right.
They had read that long before. Do you happen to know, is there much precedent for extending into July sessions so that, controversial decisions can be announced?
I don't know about the precedent. I'll tell you this. The one thing that experts who have followed the court for years will tell you is that the Supreme Court can do whatever it wants to.
Right.
And that all of these educated guesses are nothing more than educated guesses. They could decide even not to issue these opinions in the current term. Which, it's possible that they could carry this over.
Wow.
Into the next term, which doesn't start until October. So unclear why they would do that or what the reasoning would be, but it is possible.
Yeah. Dennis, let's talk a little bit about the Gay and Lesbian Victory Fund. Your job is to help get LGBT politicians elected, correct?
That's right. It's a pretty unique mission in the movement, but it's been an important one, as we've seen in recent history, where state legislatures have passed, say, marriage equality bills, almost without fail. At the center of those arguments, center of those debates, the people who are pushing the legislation and really being the champion for it are the out members of state legislatures. So you looked at, Washington State, there were 6 when that passed there. In Maryland, there were 8 out legislators when they passed marriage equality.
Wow.
So building a caucus of out LGBT legislators is a really important indicator of whether you're going to have success getting pro-equality legislation passed.
There was a time when the term out legislator just didn't exist.
Right.
But we have seen a real curve, what am I trying to say? What's that called? Exponential. There's the word. Exponentially move upward in terms of people feeling comfortable about being out and running for office. The numbers have really exploded in recent years.
They have, and especially in states where you would expect them to. We're still a little behind the times in places where we're a little behind the times. And there are a few states where there are no out elected officials at all. There are a few where there's just one. There are more than a dozen where there are no out state legislators, and that's a really important place to have out members. But we've also seen, in the last election in 2012, we nearly doubled the number of the out members of Congress.
Wow. That's fantastic. I think people would expect there to be out members of Congress and that sort of thing in, say, California and New York. We were having a discussion on the phone just a moment ago. I used to anchor the news in Madison, Wisconsin. Wisconsin, for a time there, I don't know, they might still be, was the leader of having the most number of out people serving in office. In any office, state, local, on down the line.
Right. California is definitely the leader in that now. There are more than 100 out officials in California, and that's it takes a lot for other states to catch up to that. But one thing that Wisconsin has is a really kind of unique first, and that is it's the first time ever that they've sent a member of Congress who was openly gay while she ran for the first time as a freshman, and that was Tammy Baldwin. She just left that seat, as we all know, and became the first out U.S. Senator. Mm-hmm. And the person who followed her into that seat in the House is himself openly gay, Mark Pocan, mm-hmm. who you know.
Both Tammy and Mark are just incredible people. They're fantastic, and I was so proud to call them my representative or what have you while I was living in Madison, and I just love that specific seat continued in the LGBT tradition. Now, you have an announcement that there may be a new member of Congress. We hope to have a new member of Congress from the state of Michigan?
From Massachusetts.
Oh, Massachusetts. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, tomorrow there will be an election for Secretary of State John Kerry's former Senate seat. Mm-hmm. He had to leave the Senate, obviously, to become Secretary of State when Hillary Clinton left. That election will likely be won by Congressman Ed Markey. That opens up his seat in the House, and there will be a special election for that. And we have endorsed a state legislator, an openly gay state legislator named Carl Shirtino, and he is running for that seat that will be vacant. I think that announcement of the campaign will follow tomorrow's election by a day or two, and Carl will be off and running. It's going to be a crowded election. Special elections for the House don't come along very often, but it is a chance for us to get an 8th sitting openly gay member of Congress, and somebody who really has been a tremendous champion for the LGBT community in Massachusetts. So we're excited about this race.
Carl Shirtino, am I saying that correctly?
Right.
Okay, great. Well, that name is now on my radar, and we'll have to have him on the show to talk a little bit about it while he's running. So, all right, Dennis, we'll wake up tomorrow again with fingers crossed, and we'll see what happens. As you know, I've been trying to schedule this 4-hour-long version of Equality Radio for the day that the announcements come down. It's really difficult because I keep having this moving target.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But everyone that's agreed to come on, including yourself, have all been incredibly patient. You guys realize I don't have any say over when it happens. Nobody does. Only the Supreme Court can make their own rules, as you said. DENIS DISON, he is the VP of Communications for the Gay and Lesbian Victory Fund. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today and updating us on Washington politics.
Thanks a lot, Randall.
All right, stick around, everyone, because just after the break here, we are headed to New York City, where a couple of women have founded an organization that really helps protect animals. It's called Our Hen House. JASMIN Singer and MARIANN Sullivan will join us for our Meatless Monday segment. You're listening to Equality Radio here on Q Talk America. I'm your host, Randall White. We're back in just a moment. Can we have your attention for a moment? Eat, Drink, Explore Media has an important date we want to share with you. Saturday, July 13th. We invite you to join us at a craft beer and food event like no other. At last count, generous samples from more than 70 breweries will be paired with local culinary treats for the 2013 Breast Fest along San Francisco's waterfront at Fort Mason. Going on its 14th year, the annual Breast Fest has grown dramatically, raising money for an incredibly important cause, providing free, complimentary treatments for women battling breast cancer. The Charlotte Maxwell Clinic offers services such as acupuncture, massage, organic foods, and transportation. The clinic's core mission to provide relief from the terrible side effects of cancer and its treatments. Eat, Drink, Explore Media is very proud to be among the main sponsors for this year's event. For more information, go to thebreastfest.org. Are you as excited, maybe even nervous as we are about the upcoming decisions that will be handed down by the Supreme Court of the United States later this month? Hello, I'm Randall White, host of Equality Radio here on Q Talk America. In anticipation of what will surely be a historic day, the staff here at Equality Radio is hard at work, putting together expert guests, background information, and legal analysis for a solid day of live coverage. We are greatly expanding our 2-hour show that day to fit the occasion. We want to be sure you have a forum to express your thoughts as history unfolds around us. There may be no greater moment in LGBT history than what's about to happen. And Equality Radio on Q Talk America will be here so we can all share it together. Tell your friends, family, and LGBT allies Q Talk America is the place to be when SCOTUS makes its decision known. Stay tuned. Flex Cocktail Lounge and LGBT Bar is the place Las Vegas locals and tourists alike go to enjoy a welcoming environment with a small town feel. Meet up with friends and relax at Flex. Open 24 hours a day. Flex is located on the west side of Las Vegas at West Charleston and Arville, just 4 miles from downtown and the Strip. Flex is known for its friendly bartenders, loose gaming, and inexpensive cocktails. Stop by whenever you're in Vegas and play a game of pool. Meet a friend, or even make a new one. To see the schedule of drag queen karaoke, dance club activities, and gaming options, log on to flexlasvegas.com. That's flexlasvegas.com. Flex Cocktail Lounge and LGBT Bar, the place to enjoy our Las Vegas. Can we have your attention for a moment? Eat, Drink, Explore Media has an important date we want to share with you. Saturday, July 13th. We invite you to join us at a craft beer and food event like no other. At last count, generous samples from more than 70 breweries will be paired with local culinary treats for the 2013 Breast Fest along San Francisco's waterfront at Fort Mason. Going on its 14th year, the annual Breast Fest has grown dramatically, raising money for an incredibly important cause, providing free, complimentary treatments for women battling breast cancer. The Charlotte Maxwell Clinic offers services such as acupuncture, massage, organic foods, and transportation. The clinic's core mission to provide relief from the terrible side effects of cancer and its treatments. Eat, Drink, Explore Media is very proud to be among the main sponsors for this year's event. For more information, go to thebreastfest.org.
You're listening to Equality Radio.
Equality Radio.
Fabulous.
Now, here's your host, Randall White.
Randall White on Q Talk America.
3:33 here on the West Coast, 6:33 in the Eastern Time Zone. Great to have you with us, everyone. I am Randall White here on Equality Radio. It's Monday, and it's the bottom of the hour, so that means it is our Meatless Monday segment. I have been a vegan for not a long time, just since the beginning of this year. Last year, so I did this challenge. I challenged myself, and I said, all right, I am going to take 1 month, instead of making like some blanket sort of New Year's resolutions, I decided I'm going to take things 1 month at a time. So I tried a month of being vegetarian. I tried a month of eating locavore style, everything within 100 miles, which is easy for us to do here in California, not so easy in other parts of the nation. And then I did a month where I didn't use a car at all. So I just did these little month-long things. So when 2013 rolled around, I thought, well, I'm going to amp it up a little bit for January, and I'm going to not just do vegetarian, I'm going to do vegan. And I was shocked at how easy it was, how much I enjoyed it, and how great I felt. And so I thought, I'm not going to continue with these month-long things. I'm just going to make it a lifestyle change. And I did. My blood pressure has come down dramatically. Points-wise, I was flirting with being in hypertension. I was solidly in pre-hypertension in both the top and bottom numbers. Now I am well below in the normal range and have been for several months. And I just feel fantastic. Now, last night, I ate a dessert that I shouldn't be kicking myself because I was led to believe that it was a vegan dessert. It turns out 3 of the biggest ingredients in it were eggs, milk, and cream. I didn't find that out till this morning. So I was sort of bummed out because, I don't know, it's one of those things where you challenge yourself to be as good as possible. but, sometimes you get misled. At any rate, our Meatless Monday segment today features a couple of women who started a great organization. I found it online a couple of months ago and just thought, you know what, I should invite them on. It's JASMIN Singer and MARIANN Sullivan. They are the founders, I should say, of Our Hen House in New York and are on the live line with us right now. And a very good day to you.
It's so exciting to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, likewise. And you know what? The Skype connection sounds fantastic.
Good.
You do have a professional mic. That sounds good. Because sometimes we had a guest on one time for this guy who founded an alternative to the Boy Scouts that's accepting, LGBTQ accepting, and called, I'll remember it before the end of the segment. But anyway, it was like he was talking in an echo chamber or something, it sounded terrible, but you two sound just fine.
Well, it's the vegan clarity.
There you go. Like I said, I feel so great now, and I'm really happy that I made the change, and I want to share it with other people without, I don't know, shoving it down their throat or making them feel bad about the choices they make while eating. I try to do it through an education way, and it seems like that's the goal of Our Hen House as well. Yeah,
we like to force feed people tofu, maybe not, the facts of what's going on with animals. But yeah, Our Hen House exists. Really, we're a multimedia hub of opportunities to change the world for animals, and we produce a weekly podcast and an online magazine, and we cast a wide net over what we mean by activism or advocacy or whatever you want to call it. And we believe that everyone, people care about animals regardless of whether or not they're vegan yet. I believe that people really do want to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And at Our Hen House, we have various inroads for how you can do that, be it through Meatless Mondays as you came to our team,
right,
or perhaps through legal means. MARIANN is an animal rights law professor, or through the arts, that's my background, or through a variety of other ways like academia or grassroots, whatever.
So, MARIANN, it must be really encouraging to see the trend for people that are dabbling in vegetarian and veganism. It really has skyrocketed in the last year or so.
It really is an amazing time, and I think that people are coming to veganism for a variety of reasons. You tried it out. I feel like primarily for your health, you were trying out a bunch of different lifestyles and came upon veganism. People come to it for their health. They come to it because of the enormous environmental concerns surrounding our enormous production of meat. And, of course, many people come to it, as we did, for the animals. Just the thought of killing and eating these animals is bad enough, but the horrors of factory farming, just people are really starting to wake up to that. And all of these things are working to people come to it from different directions, and then they find out all of these other benefits of it. And it really does seem to be just exploding. I mean, I've been vegan for 20 years, and the difference between then and now is just dramatic.
It must just, because I know when I go out, like here, just within walking distance of the studio, I can walk down the street and I can get a vegan pizza with several different topping options. I can go to a restaurant that's just a little bit farther, but still walking distance, and their entire menu is all local, fresh, vegetarian, or they can make anything vegan if you want. And that's just two options right here, and we're not a very big town, and so I imagine 20 years ago when you got started on this, if you didn't live in New York City, you probably weren't finding much in a way of an option.
Well, it's true that, going out to mainstream restaurants was sometimes a struggle, but there's always something you can find. And for making your own food, I mean, people just seem to forget that there's vegan, we like to say that there's an enormous vegan section in every single supermarket in the country, and it's called produce. People forget that so many of the foods that we eat, and those tend to be the vegan foods that are absolutely best for you, or just the basic beans and grains and vegetables and fruits, the very staff of life, that those are all vegan. And of course, everybody's favorite sandwich, peanut butter and jelly, turns out to be a vegan sandwich.
I've become intimate with the dry bin section of my supermarket. I try all different kinds of legumes and those sorts of things now, mixing them into different, because I'm not a big fan of fake meat. Whatever they try to form soy into some sort of something that appears to be meat. I prefer to mix up lentils and beans and that sort of thing into more of like a hash or something. And I that's my dinner daily.
Yeah, I hear you. That's similar to how we eat. We eat very whole foods based. But I think for a lot of people first transitioning to veganism, they might really want to have foods that are nostalgic for them, reminiscent of foods they might be used to, but the vegan version of it. And I think it's something to celebrate that there is a compassionate, cruelty-free version of every single kind of food out there.
Yeah.
And in addition to those plant-based meats, the plant-based cheeses have started coming online. And I have to tell you, they're unbelievable.
They're so good. We just made a vegan pizza at home last night, and we used a rice mozzarella. It was I couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's so many different ways of being a happy, healthy vegan, and it is really accessible. It's everywhere.
There's a restaurant in the Silver Lake area of Los Angeles called Cafe, I think it's pronounced Flore. It's Flore.
We've been there.
You've been there on Sunset Boulevard? Okay,
yeah,
so...
we live in New York, but we were there the last time we were in L.A., yeah.
So, of course, I just said how I don't like fake meat, but I will recommend the waffle with chicken and gravy. It's fake chicken, but it tastes exactly like chicken. The gravy's delicious. Everything, it's fantastic. I love that restaurant.
I mean, how can you go wrong with vegan chicken and waffles? And most people, they don't like the thought of forever giving up a food that they grew up on. They're finding this new alternative version of it that's plant-based and delicious and brings out all of those favorite flavors. It's just so exciting.
Have you done a feature yet on Beyond Eggs out of San Francisco?
Oh, yes. We interviewed Josh Tetrick, their CEO, on our podcast, which you could find at either ourhenhouse.org or on iTunes by looking for Our Hen House. And it's funny you should mention that because we're currently in production for our 181st consecutive weekly episode, and Josh Tetrick, he is one of our top favorite interviews of all time. Out of the many hundreds we've done, he is just the future to us. The rise of this in vitro meat is so hopeful for us, but Beyond Eggs and what they're doing is phenomenal.
He's terrific. We had him on I produce a Sunday show called Eat, Drink, Explore that airs on a couple of radio stations here in California, and we had him on that show. And yeah, I have to agree with you. He's brilliant, and he is the future.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to replace ingredients that are in so many packaged foods with Beyond Eggs, which is a plant-based egg, and it would be to the benefit of the organizations and companies who would be purchasing these products.
Yeah,
absolutely, and it's cheaper and it's better for people and it's easier to store. Eggs are really, really difficult product to handle. There's so many things about it, and he comes at it truly from such a good heart.
Mm-hmm.
He really cares about the animals. He cares so deeply about the environmental issues. He really, really wants to change the world, and I really think he's going to. I think a lot of these entrepreneurs who are really starting to come online, and of course, Josh Tetrick has gained the support of Bill Gates, and really some big money is starting to pay attention to the fact that the way we raise food is barbaric, and these are even people who haven't awakened to the animal issues, but just the sheer waste and the fact that the income disparities are causing people to not have anything to eat while other people are wasting grain on feeding it to animals. I mean, it's just, there's so much going on here. And Josh Tetrick is one of those entrepreneurs that is really seeing that and it's going to change the world.
JASMIN Singer and MARIANN Sullivan, can you hang on through the commercial break? I have several more questions for you that I haven't even gotten to yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. We're back in just a moment.
Equality Radio.
Join the conversation. Give us a call. 424-272-6365.
Equality Radio.
For more information, it's ourhenhouse.org. We are back in just one moment on Q Talk America. I'm your host, Randall White. Flex Cocktail Lounge and LGBT Bar is the place Las Vegas locals and tourists alike go to enjoy a welcoming environment with a small town feel. Meet up with friends and relax at Flex. Open 24 hours a day. Flex is located on the west side of Las Vegas at West Charleston and Arville, just 4 miles from downtown and the Strip. Flex is known for its friendly bartenders, loose gaming, and inexpensive cocktails. Stop by whenever you're in Vegas and play a game of pool. Meet a friend, or even make a new one. To see the schedule of drag queen karaoke, dance club activities, and gaming options, log on to flexlasvegas.com. That's flexlasvegas.com. Flex Cocktail Lounge and LGBT Bar, the place to enjoy our Las Vegas. Are you as excited, maybe even nervous as we are about the upcoming decisions that will be handed down by the Supreme Court of the United States later this month? Hello, I'm Randall White, host of Equality Radio here on Q Talk America. In anticipation of what will surely be a historic day, the staff here at Equality Radio is hard at work, putting together expert guests, background information, and legal analysis for a solid day of live coverage. We are greatly expanding our show that day to fit the occasion. We want to be sure you have a forum to express your thoughts as history unfolds around us. There may be no greater moment in LGBT history than what's about to happen. And Equality Radio on Q Talk America will be here so we can all share it together. Tell your friends, family, and LGBT allies Q Talk America is the place to be when SCOTUS makes its decision known. Stay tuned. Can we have your attention for a moment? Eat, Drink, Explore Media has an important date we want to share with you. Saturday, July 13th. We invite you to join us at a craft beer and food event like no other. At last count, generous samples from more than 70 breweries will be paired with local culinary treats for the 2013 Breast Fest along San Francisco's waterfront at Fort Mason. Going on its 14th year, the annual Breast Fest has grown dramatically, raising money for an incredibly important cause, providing free, complimentary treatments for women battling breast cancer. The Charlotte Maxwell Clinic offers services such as acupuncture, massage, organic foods, and transportation. The clinic's core mission to provide relief from the terrible side effects of cancer and its treatments. Eat, Drink, Explore Media is very proud to be among the main sponsors for this year's event. For more information, go to thebreastfest.org. Flex Cocktail Lounge and LGBT Bar is the place Las Vegas locals and tourists alike go to enjoy a welcoming environment with a small town feel. Meet up with friends and relax at Flex. Open 24 hours a day. Flex is located on the west side of Las Vegas at West Charleston and Arville, just 4 miles from downtown and the Strip. Flex is known for its friendly bartenders, loose gaming, and inexpensive cocktails. Stop by whenever you're in Vegas and play a game of pool. Meet a friend, or even make a new one. To see the schedule of drag queen karaoke, dance club activities, and gaming options, log on to flexlasvegas.com. That's flexlasvegas.com. Flex Cocktail Lounge and LGBT Bar, the place to enjoy our Las Vegas.
You're listening to
Randall White on Q Talk America. Equality Radio.
49 minutes past the hour here on this Monday, Meatless Monday. If you've never tried it before, why not? One day out of the week where you choose to just cut meat out of the diet and see how you like it, and then maybe increase to a couple of days, and who knows, you might be on your way to veganism. On the line with us today are the founders of Our Hen House. And boy, it's a really great website. You should check it out. Full of great information. JASMIN singer and MARIANN Sullivan are on the live line. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
Yes. So when we were chatting there, just a moment ago. Marianne, I believe it was you that mentioned 3 of the different reasons people might become vegans. And it's funny because I was just asked this question on Saturday. Somebody said, why do you want to cut meat out of your diet? Is it for your health? And I said, well, that was one of the reasons, and then I mentioned the environment, and then I mentioned the health of the animals. And where I got the knowledge for that 3-prong approach, which really those three major factors were what spurred me to do it in January, was through the movie Vegucated, which was just, I don't know, life-changing for me. I really like that movie a lot. You've seen it, I imagine.
Yeah, actually, Jasmine is in it.
Oh, you're kidding.
I moved you to tears, I can tell.
You know what? I didn't make that connection. How funny.
I gave advice in the restaurant scene toward the end. I'm always giving advice. Marianne's always trying to get me to shut up. Right? So. It was a pretty small part.
Yeah, but still.
There are no small parts, only small vegans.
Yeah, you're still in it, which I think is fantastic. I love that movie. I tell people to watch that. And then I watched a movie called Forks Over Knives, I think it was. Forks Over Knives?
Absolutely.
Is that right? Yeah.
Forks Over Knives is terrific. I'm not in that, but it's good anyway.
It takes each of those movies sort of takes a look at the situation from a different angle, and I liked that.
Yeah, I think that Vegucated is particularly special because it's a social commentary. Mm-hmm. The filmmaker Marisa Miller Wolfson takes 3 meat-eating New Yorkers. She found them on Craigslist, and she veganizes them for 6 weeks, exposing them to all 3 reasons why people would go vegan that you were just mentioning. And she basically follows the journey, and it's fun, and it's funny, and yet, as you mentioned, it still certainly packs a punch. And Forks Over Knives is particularly special because it got such mainstream attention. I mean, there were, here in New York, and I'm sure in LA also and elsewhere, there were sold out screenings all the time. And it really speaks to the health reasons why somebody would adopt a vegan diet, because eating a healthy vegan diet is optimally healthy. And Forks Over Knives goes there in a way that no other film has.
I found a recent study, I want to say it's about a month or so old now, where they examined the guts of meat eaters versus vegetarians or vegans, people who had been vegetarian or vegan for at least a year, and they found different colonies of microbial organisms in there, and that one in particular helped take cholesterol and attach it to the walls of your blood vessels, and this particular microbe only lives in the guts of meat eaters. I thought that
fascinating.
To me, that keeps me on board more than anything else, because I start thinking about the flora that exists down there, and how I really do want to keep it optimally healthy. And I had heard people discuss in the past that maybe cholesterol is not the big bad boogeyman that everyone makes it out to be, that it's how your body handles cholesterol. And in this case, that study really supports that the guts of meat eaters handle cholesterol differently.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I mean, the whole health angle is something that we definitely talk about. I don't even know if you know this, Randall, but I actually lost 100 pounds.
100 pounds?
Yeah, and I was actually vegan before I lost the weight. So it wasn't from going vegan, but I was a junk food vegan, and, if you want to be a junk food vegan, I think that's great. And I still like to eat a lot of junk food sometimes, but not like every 5 minutes like I was before. And I was on my way to heart disease, and I was like 30 or 31 at the time. So there's a lot of incredibly important health benefits that we can gain from eating a healthy plant-based diet that is based in whole foods like nuts and seeds and legumes and healthy fats and lots of leafy greens and fruits. And it's amazing, almost embarrassing, really, how much you can get out of those foods.
And year-round in any part of the country now, for the most part. JASMIN Singer and MARIANN Sullivan, ourhenhouse.org. You mentioned an online magazine as well. Can you link to that through Our Hen House?
OurHenhouse.org is our online
Is
magazine.
the online magazine.
Every day we publish different content for people of all walks, really, different reviews and features and thought pieces and columns and blogs. And someone recently called us the CNN for animal rights, which I appreciated. At the top of the screen, we actually have a news ticker with current events from animal rights. And our podcast as well can be found on iTunes or at ourhenhouse.org/podcast. One of our upcoming podcast episodes is going to feature Marisa Miller-Wolfson, the filmmaker of Educated, and will be an update on what's going on with the subjects of that film.
Oh, great. What's the date of that?
We're actually I'm going to see her for dinner tonight, so
Okay.
we're going to talk about when we're going to do the interview. She's been on in the past. If you want to hear that episode, you could just search for Marisa Miller-Wolfson. She also wrote a really wonderful feature article for us before about what it's like being a vegan and having a vegan son.
Oh,
It's another growing area, people with vegan kids.
Yeah. If you will send me a note after you have dinner and talk about when you're going to record that update, I'd love to listen to the podcast with the update.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be fun. We have a good time with her.
That's fantastic. All right. Well, we have to have you back on the show on a regular basis to sort of update us and those sorts of things. And I really want you to keep up the great work there at ourhenhouse.org. I clicked on a ticker item today, by the way, because I had not heard, and that's why I love that little ticker that you have that goes across the top. I had not heard that the Meatless Monday options at the cafeteria that is there for the Congress people had been removed. Do I understand that correctly?
Yeah, isn't it a disgrace? And it's the article that we linked to and that you read was from a meat industry magazine, which is crowing about this happening. And of course, it's pressure from it's impossible to overestimate the amount of pressure that the meat industry can bring on legislatures, both federal and state. And this is just another ironic example. They can't even have a Meatless Monday option. And Compass Food Group, the supplier for their food, standardly has one, but not in Congress.
That's ridiculous. I mean, it just is completely ridiculous. All right, 3:57 the time. Ourhenhouse.org. I should say 3:57 Pacific.
You've been listening to
Equality Radio.
Connect with us online at equalityradio.net.
Equality Radio.
I didn't think I was going to get that out in time. Ourhenhouse.org. JASMIN Singer and MARIANN Sullivan, founders. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. We'll catch you here tomorrow. Maybe after the Supreme Court makes some very important rulings. Who knows? It's been a waiting game up until now. I'm your host, Randall White. See you tomorrow. Flex Cocktail Lounge and LGBT Bar is the place Las Vegas locals and tourists alike go to enjoy a welcoming environment with a small town feel. Meet up with friends and relax at Flex. Open 24 hours a day. Flex is located on the west side of Las Vegas at West Charleston and Arville, just 4 miles from downtown and the Strip. Flex is known for its friendly bartenders, loose gaming, and inexpensive cocktails. Stop by whenever you're in Vegas and play a game of pool. Meet a friend, or even make a new one. To see the schedule of drag queen karaoke, dance club activities, and gaming options, log on to flexlasvegas.com. That's flexlasvegas.com. Flex Cocktail Lounge and LGBT Bar, the place to enjoy our Las Vegas.